Hello. This is the topic I'm going to be talking about that this gentleman is talking about today's women and what's going on in the black community. Uh, he's a doctor. He's a Pan Africanist, and he I'll get it later. He talks about what's going on between black men and black women. So, and mentions Dr. Umar and how it's important for black men and black women to be together. However, I said which is true. However, in this video, I'm going to show you 4 videos the reason why some black men are making a decision and going to different women because the women the types of black women here in America, I'm going to show you what their mindset is on. But I'm going to play the good doc, the good man, this guy's video first, and I'm gonna play a little bit of his video, and I'll get back to you.
Is Dr. Umar Johnson correct on interracial marriage? What do you think? I'm going to share my opinion in this video. Stay with me. We could put 100,000 more police officers in every city. We could spend trillions of dollars in these cities, and it would have no effect, no long-lasting effect on many of the conditions that we see. You know why? You first got to defeat the principality. You first got to defeat the rulers of the darkness of this world. Now again, they're already defeated, but we, the church, must learn how to exercise authority over those principalities. And then, only then, can we release and free the black men that they hold captive. All right, thank you for staying with me as I tackle this issue of whether Dr. Umar Johnson is correct on interracial marriage. And welcome to The Gap with Augustus Corbett. This YouTube channel is dedicated to the empowerment and uplifting of African American men. Again, thank you for tuning in. So this is a big topic, and Dr. Umar Johnson has been all over YouTube sharing his opinions on interracial marriage. So the question again today that I'm going to tackle is whether Dr. Johnson is correct. Now I want to bring a few things on the screen because I think it's necessary for us to really understand what Dr. Johnson has said. So the first thing I want to do is I want to play 2 short clips of Dr. Johnson expressing his views on interracial marriage.
Let me ask you a question, Dr. Umar. Are you totally against interracial relationships?
I am totally against it, and I want to make sure you understand why. The reason I'm against interracial marriage, Envy and Charlemagne, is because marriage is an economic contract. It's an economic contract. Most women do not marry down in status. They marry up. And if you don't believe me, show me a rich white woman married to a broke-ass black man. Have you ever seen a rich white woman marry a broke-ass black man? No, you have not, and you never will. Because marriage ain't about love, it's not colorblind, and it is totally economic. So if marriage is an economic unification in a contract, how can we, who don't have enough already, give so much to the white woman and to white people who have already taken too much when we got all these black women out here who will never get married? Only 1 out of every 4 black women in America will ever taste marriage.
I want to ask you something, Dr. Umar. For you, have you ever seen an interracial relationship that was acceptable to you?
No interracial relationship is acceptable because we have too many black women who are unmarried. Black women are the largest population on the planet Earth. If you can't find one in America, get it from Africa. If you can't get it from Africa, go to the Caribbean, go to Canada, go to Europe. Why would a black man need to copulate, build a family with anything other than a black woman when you have so many black women available? It is an exercise in self-hatred. There's no way to get around it.
So you heard him in his own words express why he is strongly opposed to interracial marriage. Now, let me back up and make sure you are all familiar with Dr. Umar Johnson. I don't see how you can't be, because he, again, is all over YouTube. He speaks all over the country. He's a well-spoken, intelligent child psychologist. And a lot of folks disagree with him, and a lot of folks agree with him. And I guess you could say that about me. I agree with him strongly on some things, and I strongly disagree with him on other things. So I'm going to share with you my opinion about this particular topic, and then I'll let you be the judge as to where you kind of want to fall on this discussion. All right, so first, a little bit about me. Number one, I am a dedicated Christ follower. That means I am a dedicated, committed Christian, and I have been since 1985. So this coming October, I would have been a committed Christian for 38 years. And I'm also a preacher. I've been a minister of the gospel for most of those years. So that is number one for me. That is how I identify first and foremost as a committed, dedicated Christ follower. Now, one of the things I must tell you about that is, so I go to the Bible to get my understanding of everything. That's where I start. And a lot of things the Bible has expressly said or has expressly given, laws or statutes, rules, principles, wisdom for us to know how to deal with a certain situation based on the way the Lord wants us to deal with it. Now, one of the things as it relates to this discussion is, if you study the New Testament closely, especially the book of Ephesians chapter 2, you'll understand there that race is not a divine construct. Race is actually a human construct. As a matter of fact, race was invented by white supremacists, and they used racial classifications to justify their oppression and their enslavement and the lynching, murdering, and all the colonialism and all the other stuff that white supremacists have done throughout human history. So I don't ascribe to those racial classifications, again, because the Word of God tells us in Ephesians chapter 2, God classifies people in three different ways: Jew, non-Jew, and Christian. Now, I came upon this revelation one day as I was praying, when the Lord asked me, how many races of people are there? And I said, hundreds. And the Lord had me to read Ephesians chapter 2. I read it, and the Lord asked me again, how many races of people are there? I read it again. This time I said, maybe thousands. And it was at that point the Lord understood that I did not understand how he classifies humans. So the Lord had me to read specific verses in Ephesians chapter 2. And there he showed me that there are three categories of people. And it's not based on race. Again, Jew, non-Jew, Christian. So what actually happens is, when a person, whether Jew or non-Jew, becomes a Christ follower, that person then becomes a member of the group called Christian, which the Apostle Paul calls the one new man. And the one new man is really an ethnic group all to itself. And it consists of both the Jewish people and members of non-Jewish ethnicities. That could be African American, that can be Anglo American, that can be European, that can be Arab, that can be Asian, that can be whatever non-Jewish people there are, and Jewish people who accept Christ. They become a part of a completely new ethnic group called Christian. So if we're going to look at classifications of humans the way God sees them, then we're going to have to look at them in three different ways. Again, Jews, non-Jews, and Christians. classifies people. So that is the reason why I told you first and foremost, I am a dedicated Christ follower, because that informs everything I know about nearly everything. I start from the Word of God. Now, I am also a lifelong Pan-Africanist. I hear Dr. Omar Johnson saying that he is the prince of Pan-Africanism. Many people don't understand what Pan-Africanism is, but I've been a Pan-Africanist since the early 80s. I became a Pan-Africanist while I attended North Carolina A&T State University, where I began to really understand our connection as African Americans to the African continent. And I saw that as long as Africa was not free, was not liberated, was not thriving, wasn't prospering, being colonized, or this neo-colonism that's going on, as long as that was going on, black people, no matter where they are, the African diaspora, no matter where we are, can never truly be free and liberated, because, like it or not, we are connected to the African continent. We are African people. We came here from Africa. And the fact that we were born and or raised in Louisiana or New York State or Georgia or Wisconsin does not negate the fact that our forefathers came from Africa and we are African. So I am a very strong, lifelong, you could say, Pan-Africanist. So I would take Dr. Omar Johnson to task when he says that he's the prince of Pan-Africanism, given the fact that I'm in my 60s and have been a Pan-Africanist for over 40 years, or close to 40 years, then I would have to say that I am the father of Pan-Africanism here in America. Of course, I'm being facetious, because there have been many Pan-Africanists in this country. Many are much older than I am, and certainly much older than Dr. Omar Johnson. But nevertheless, he and I both are Pan-Africanists, and we understand that we are Africans and that we are connected to Africa, and we are happily so. Then you see that I am an American of African descent, which is a long way of saying I am an African American. I am a part of the African diaspora, and I'm happily so once again. I'm also an ordained clergy member. I have been preaching the gospel, as I said earlier, for about 38 years. I am also a licensed attorney, and as such, I have had lots of dealings with the marital covenant and contract that Dr. Omar Johnson talks about, that you just saw him say. All right, so as an ordained clergy member, I have married many people, and as a licensed attorney who has practiced family law, I have been present through folks' divorce proceedings. So I'm very familiar with the economic implications of marriage. And then lastly, I am a published author. I wrote the book, Education Injustice: How Public Schools Fail African American Males. So that's kind of in Dr. Johnson's field there, himself being a child psychologist. We listened to those videos just a few minutes ago from Dr. Johnson, and from what I can decipher, there are 5 main reasons that Dr. Johnson opposes interracial marriage. Number one, on the basis of it is black self-hatred. He argues a black man cannot truly marry a non-black woman without having some level of black self-hatred, some level of black self-loathing toward himself or toward African American women. In other words, because of the conditioning that we have experienced here, because of the onslaught of degradation in the the horrible treatment that we've experienced as being enslaved people through Jim Crow, through systemic racism today, and all the other indignities that have come along with us being in this country. Many of us have come through that process, self-loathing as Black Americans. In other words, some Black self-hatred. There is truth to that. He also says there are economic consequences of being married. I will address that because there is some truth to that as well. And he says to develop strong Black families. So he opposes interracial marriage because it interferes with the African American community ability to develop strong Black families. And then he says there's an abundance of Black women. Why would an African American man need to marry or want to marry any other woman when there are so many Black women who are available for marriage? And then last of all, he said biracial Black children don't identify psychologically as Black. All right, so those 5 reasons I think are the major reasons why he opposes interracial marrying. Now, my response, all right, so to the Black self-hatred thing here, that's real. I mean, we don't like to admit it, but it is real. We were taught to hate all things Black. In one video, he talked about the doll test that Dr. Clark did in the Brown versus Board of Education case. Again, as an attorney, I'm very familiar with the Brown versus Board of Education case, where Thurgood Marshall, Justice Thurgood Marshall, the leading attorney in the Brown versus Board of Education case, had Dr. Henry Clark, I believe his first name was Henry, Dr. Henry Clark, had Black children pick out which doll was the ugliest doll based on the color of the dolls. Nearly every one of the Black children would pick up the white doll as the smart doll, or the white doll as the pretty doll, and would pick up the Black doll as the ugly doll, or pick up the Black doll as the dumb doll. And these were small children, and they had already been contaminated by white supremacy and racism. And so we cannot deny the fact that there is in our community some self-hatred. I mean, we see it in the way that we bleach our skin. We see it in the way that we straighten our hair. That is Black self-hatred. And it's not just true with Black women, it's Black men as well, because they too have accepted, many of them, the notion that European women are better, are more beautiful. So this thing of Black self-hatred is real. It is real. Whether every Black man who marries a white woman does so because of Black self-hatred, I don't know. As a matter of fact, most Black men marry Black women.
That's true.
But those who don't, some of it is related to Black self-hatred. And we especially tend to see that the more wealthier Black men become. Now, that is a segue into...
I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to kind of disagree with that, because I'm about to show you some video. Why? And I'm going to get it from Black men's point of view. And then you're going to have to see the characteristics of what kind of Black men, what kind of Black men, what kind of Black woman that Black men got deal with today. This it don't reflect all, but it reflect how some Black men, what do we see? So first I'm gonna give this young man's opinion and see why he said about Black women. Let's see what he said.
What's up, world? This your boy, your one and only Money Moves with your boy Miv 2.0. On this YouTube channel, every day we strive for financial excellence so you guys can live a better and prosperous, financially free tomorrow. As you guys know, on this YouTube channel, we talk a lot about a variety of different topics, from blogs to real estate, good credit, bad credit, different types of loans you might be interested in, real estate, different ways to acquire homes, money, relationships, but we mainly talk about relationship at this moment because every man knows that who he chooses to have an intimate sexual relationship with will have a high impact on his soon-to-be financial status. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how black women are not strong enough to submit to black men. So before we get in this video, I just want to thank all of you guys, all of my loyal subscribers who've been rocking with me since day one. Also, if you haven't subscribed, the subscribe button is right underneath this video, so you can feel free to subscribe. Also, make sure you guys please thumbs up this video. So let's get straight into the content. Black women, strong. A strong woman behind a strong man is supposed to be the backbone. The woman's supposed to be your backbone. She's supposed to bend. She's supposed to be flexible and move all types of ways. But she's not supposed to break. You're supposed to be able to bend your woman like this. She's supposed to be able to withstand highly stressful situations physically and emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Submission. Black women are not strong enough to submit to a man. A black man in particular, especially a black man. Now, so I'm gonna get deep into this conversation. As you guys know, black women love to go around social media. You heard on all the movies talking about how strong and how independent black women is. But what they didn't get is that behind every strong woman is a strong man. Ask the Arabs, ask the Indian women, ask the Spanish women, ask the white women. Black women have come up with this lie that they're strong, that they're strong black women. Black women are the weakest women. American black women are the weakest women on the face of this earth because they have no loyalty, guys. No loyalty. Forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get a strong woman, if somebody came and kidnapped you, your kids, and they had her hostage, she's so weak. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys not willing to die for these black women because she's definitely not going to die for you or the kids. You know what I'm saying? You have to be a strong-minded woman to submit to a man, to get married to a man. Marriage is not a game. Black women think marriage is a game, guys. They think giving their bodies up and letting guys, you know what I'm saying, swap juices, they think this is a game. You know what I'm saying? But they're learning the hard way by them dying alone. Black women are now getting more and more psychological issues, mental issues. They're getting mental disorders. You know what I'm saying? Because they're weak. You hear all these black women talking about, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Weak. Come on, guys. We do not have any weak women in our stable. Weak women break. Weak women under pressure. You know what I'm saying? Black women under pressure would give all your information away. She'll let guys come into your kingdom if she's scared. You know what I'm saying? They put a little pressure on her and she's gonna break. Does this sound like a strong woman to you? Black women are not strong, guys. Black women are not strong as they persuade themselves to be. the majority of black women, most black women in America are weaker than they put up this hard persona. Oh, I'm tough. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you gonna pay child support, you gonna do this, you gonna do that. Black women are weak. They're not to be trusted. They're not loyal. And we can say this about other women as well, but when it comes to the majority of women, black women make that majority of women that are weak. They're not strong. They're not willing to submit. Talk about they don't need a man. These women are so crazy that they're talking about they don't need a man, but all the time they talking about how wet they box is on social media, and they want to have babies and stuff, but they don't need a man though. Black women are crazy, guys, and you gotta be careful which black woman you choose into your stable. They're weak. You can have a black woman and have a couple of your buddies come up to her and put some pressure on her. You know what I'm saying? To see if she's gonna break. 9 times out of 10 she's gonna break. Okay? So, only thing I gotta say is, you guys gotta be focused. You guys got to be strong. Black women are crazy. They're mentally insane. But guys, that's all I got for this video, man. Like I said, I appreciate you guys.
Now, why did he say that? Well, I'm about to show you some other video. Check this out. Is he right or is he wrong? You be observant of this next video. This woman got 8 children.
So we got a woman that came up on Kendra G's show, and she has 8 kids, y'all. 8 kids. And she want one of your brothers to date her because she's looking for a good man for her 8 children. Let's review it.
So Shirley Ann Georgia Eastman, how old are you? 28. You have any kids? Yes, I do. I have 8. How old are you? 28.
8 kids at 28 years old. God.
You have 8 kids that you gave birth to? Yes, ma'am. You gave birth to 8 kids? Yes. How old are these kids? My oldest just turned 10. My daughter is 7. Then my next son, he's 6. Then I have a set of twins who will be 5 on the 29th of this month. And my second set of twins, they just turned 3 in November. Then I have a 1-year-old son. A 1-year-old son? Yes. All by the same man? 6 of them are, and the other 2 have another dad. What was it?
6 of the kids got the same daddy. 6 out of 8. Why couldn't you marry him? Why didn't you stay with that man? And after you had them 6 children, you still went out there and laid down and made some more children. Listen, I'm cool with 8 kids if it came out of a marriage. I'm good. I would say, man, well, y'all got a beautiful family. I would say that to you. 8 kids is beautiful to have in a marriage. Not like this. This is dumb.
You say to the guy that feels like 8 children might just be too much for him. Oh my gosh, I know. And wait, hold on. And not only are they 8, you have 2 twins that are 5, 2 that are 3, and then one set of twins that's 5, one set of twins that's 3, and then a 1-year-old. So you have technically 5 children under the age of 6, and you do have a 6-year-old. Yeah.
You imagine as a man walking in that house? Them children running around everywhere. And that woman to me looks silly. So you can't tell me them kids on the straight and narrow, because how she got time with all those kids to be on Kendra G talking about singles? What man want you? You need to go raise your freaking football team that you got.
Yeah.
Just go raise them. When they become 18
Yeah.
and grown, and if you're
Yeah.
still trying to get back out there on the dating market, maybe you can, because let's call it what it is, ma'am. The only thing that a man's going to use you for is the bedroom. After he done with you, he going to go on by his business. No man going to take you seriously. If any man you need to be with, you need to go back with that man for them,
Thank
that's
you.
the one for them 6 children.
Exactly.
That's the one you need to go after.
Yeah.
Because no man in his right mind, no man
No
will be
man.
with you.
No.
What's going on with y'all? They say what this woman, then they say what, out of Chicago somewhere? Man, come on, bruh. Come on. And you wonder why our community is so backwards. No daddies.
That's why,
No
Umar.
requirement for anything. You can lay down and have a, listen, you want to lay down, do what you do. But prevent kids from coming into the world.
Right.
This woman didn't learn after kid number 1, 2, or 3. She only had 8. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe some of you brothers want to sign up for that. You want to play stepdaddy to 8 kids.
Ooh,
You know, good luck.
maybe you.
But let me know what y'all think about this. 28 years old with 8 kids.
So that's reason number 2. And give this to Umar Johnson. He don't consider that. So here's another case. He had an issue, but he confronted this issue.
I like it. Yep, it's fine. The prices blow my mind. I feel so rich.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Ebony K. Williams is having somewhat of a meltdown, and of course, this is something that is happening. And I don't want to be biased. Ebony K. Williams did say that she would date a bus driver if he owned the bus, meaning that she's not really hating on blue collar black men. If you own the bus, it's really okay. But most guys don't own the bus, right? She did receive some level of disrespectful comments from black men. Some called her names. This is typical. Okay? We all know that that's how okay? I'm not excusing it, and it's still wrong, but it's typical. Ebony K. Williams then had all of these responses, emotional responses to the criticism, which you should have known that people on the internet, on social media, are going to respond. Some of them are going to have stupid comments. They're not going to deal with the argument. We already know that people on social media online, they don't deal with positions, they deal with feelings. Now, here's where she went wrong. On Comedy Hype, she decided to take a shot at black men and Kevin Samuels followers by saying this.
Let me tell you why the controversy surrounding my soror, Ebony K. Williams, is so triggering. Black women are the only demographic constantly told to settle or be grateful for the minimum. When the cult leader Kevin Samuels was alive, he kept telling women how they were so ugly and unworthy because they had a child or weren't attractive enough. Now, Ebony, a 39-year-old beauty queen turned lawyer with no children, desires to partner with a man equal to her, and men and pygmies are in a rush to tear her down and tell her to settle. I want more men to be honest and admit they hate women. You may enjoy sexual relations with them, but many of y'all hate women. The whole internet is in shambles because a woman doesn't want to be the breadwinner and submit to a man she considers mediocre. Whether we admit it or not, who you marry matters. If you marry a broke man, your life will suck, period. I hope my good sis never settles, and hopefully you don't either. I know I didn't.
So again, guys, you heard all of that. And I just want to say, largely, Ebony K. Williams is saying that you guys hate women. You Kevin Samuels followers. You like having sex with women, you hate women. This is what she's talking about. Ebony, let's get back to the point of what the discussion is about. You're dealing with something that we don't know who those people are. We can't prove who those people are. Some of them can be trolls. But you're trying to say that these black men hate women or these men hate women simply because some people called you names. What do men do when they hate women? Can you explain what that behavior is? Oh, okay, because they disagreed or somebody roasted you up, so therefore they hate you. The reality is, Ebony, you said you would date a bus driver if he owned the bus, meaning that you don't No. And here's why a lot of guys in the black community who are blue collar took issue with that. A guy could be a blue collar plumber. And I'm going to break this down in my next video with April Mason. And he could make $150,000 a year. What if he owned his house?
Right.
What if he owns 5 houses?
Right.
What if he owns 10 houses?
And there are men out there
what
doing
if he
that.
has $1 million in stocks?
Exactly.
See, you're saying that he owns the bus, but you're not talking about the ownership he may have in something else.
Exactly.
You ever heard of 401k millionaires? You ever heard of contractors?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure you do. So you don't know what these guys have. My grandfather, or I will call him my step-grandfather, he worked 20 years in the military. Okay? Another 20 years, I believe, for, was it Pacific Bell, which is now AT&T? Forgot what it's called. Something like that. Another 20 years. How much money is that? Okay? How much money is that? Owns houses he bought years ago. Colorado Springs owns a house. Okay? Doing very good. Full pension. $5,000 a month. Benefits. So he might not own the bus, but he owns something greater than the bus. Because you're saying that these black men don't have ownership on the bus. What if they got ownership in something else? Most people don't have ownership of the industry that they're working in.
And they're black,
but they own something else.
To.
There are a lot of people who work on their job and they own something else.
Exactly.
That's why a lot of guys, and I'm not excusing their behavior, but the retorts. So now you want to come out and say that these guys hate women. No, you just don't have a response for what you're talking about.
Right.
Intelligently, you didn't think about that when you said that. Intelligently, you didn't think about that. You didn't think about the other outcomes. Because a guy can own the bus and own other things. He can own the business. That might not be his passion. And again, you're misjudging people. And also, I've met a lot of people who make a lot of money and they're broke. We're not talking about things like money management. We're not talking about things like discipline financially. We're not talking about those things. So anybody who is, describing that hates women, the reality is, Ebony K. Williams, you have the same evil spirit as it appears that people like Kevin Samuels was talking about. A woman who was exposed to white men, couldn't close the deal. A person who says it's pro-black but you're dating white, still couldn't get the white man. After what you're talking about, you've lived this lifestyle, your grandfather was this, it still couldn't help you because of your own personal attitude.
Right.
And I'm not putting things in conjecture, I don't feel. I feel that you're...
My biggest concern when I was thinking of getting Botox Cosmetic was...
Absolutely. But you think that was something. It's not just Ebony. Check out this next woman.
You see, getting into this video today, we're going to get into this video. This
Watch
woman
what this woman
found what she claims to be the perfect guy. But she broke up with him because she said that something was missing. You know what was missing? Him being a dysfunctional mental midget. He wasn't dumb. He wasn't a woman beater, right? Was that what was missing? You say that he's a great man. He loved God. You said that he was handsome, but something is missing. Was it the fact that he's not a deadbeat? Was that missing? Did he not have enough tattoos? Let me guess. He can hold a job, and you're not used to that. You're used to a man not working consistently. Oh, is it the fact that he's not in and out of jail? What could be missing that you break up with this guy only for you to go flying back to some loser that didn't want you in the first place? Because that's what this is. You so used to being with losers, and you in love with that narcissistic loser that you dumped.
There's a lot of women like this in America.
And you're so in love with this bum.
Yep.
That you're willing to destroy any relationship you get into with a decent guy.
Exactly.
Because in your mind, there is no decent guy, but you do want this other guy who is crazy, he's narcissistic, he's a sociopath, right? He's a deadbeat dad, he's a loser, but you love him. I can sense when a woman is highly disingenuous and is a liar.
Right.
You see, women like you deserve to be single.
Yeah.
You don't deserve to have any happiness if you're willing to throw away a relationship with a guy because he is not as dysfunctional as you want him to be. That is crazy to me. You heifers are your own worst enemy. You can't blame us for that. y'all want to blame us as men, especially us as black men, for the reason why you can't find a good man. No, you can't. You had a good man, and you threw it away because you claimed something was missing. What was missing? Is the fact that he has all his teeth? Is it the fact that he's not a grown man who sags his pants? Let me guess, he ain't got a bunch of baby mamas. You heifers are why you're single. Stop blaming everybody else. These fraudulent heifers love blaming other people for why they're single. No, you just like losers. Just admit it. You want a broke bum that you have to carry and take care of, that has baby mamas who's in and out of jail. Just say that. Just say you want to get back with that woman beater that you left. No, excuse me. You didn't leave him. He left you. Just say you want to be with him again. Now we're going to get into this ridiculous video. This video is like 3 minutes long. Make sure y'all like the stream. We're going to get into it. What's good, Vernon?
So earlier this year, I ended a relationship and cut off an engagement from a great man. He was a good man. He loved God. He was a praying man. He loved and adored me. He was there for me. He was handsome. He was well educated. He didn't have any kids. He checked all the boxes. But there was still something missing.
Something missing. You know, I've actually heard this before. I think I've heard a woman say that she found a good guy, but something was missing. You know what was missing? The fact that he's actually a good guy.
Right.
And she's not used to that.
Right.
Okay, I can tell when you women are fatherless.
Right.
Okay? When you're fatherless and you're not used to men being the men of the house, you're not used to that. Having this shit together, you're not used to that. You heifers deserve singledom. You deserve to be, in these streets indefinitely. Because you had opportunity. You're not going to always get an opportunity to meet a good man.
No.
Just like
Yes,
you're not
true.
always going to find good women out here.
Right.
And you throw it away because you want to be in these streets.
Right.
You want to go chasing behind some loser that don't want you.
Mhm.
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she faked it.
Mhm.
She pretended to be a good woman in order to get this man. That's what happened. She faked it until she got into that relationship, and then she couldn't fake it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
These are the chameleons that we are talking about. There's a shit ton of women like this. Look at YouTube. Look at all these chameleons.
Mm-hmm.
These women pretending to be good women and understand men when they're fake. They're just looking for some attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to pull one of you decent brothers into their spirit bullshit. That's what's going on.
And I just knew that I could not go through with this marriage. There was just something that did not connect. I felt that there should have been a connection between he and I in order for me to be his wife.
Well, shouldn't you have noticed that before the engagement? This is what the dating phase is all about, okay? When you're dating somebody, you look for that connection. That's what happens. And it's very obvious to me that you didn't do that. You met somebody that you were physically attracted to. You wanted to be with them. You got engaged with them. But when the realization of you being this man's wife happened, you said to yourself, I'm not wife material. In that moment, she had to be real with herself and say, yeah, you're not wife material.
And so I cut off the engagement. And it was so difficult because he was a good man. It's easy when a person is not good. You can justify why you cut things off. But
shout out to David.
Jay, it's to the point none of these westernized females should.
In the future,
see how
everything
these
will be
women
powered
are?
by renewable energy. But it's not as easy as flipping a switch. It's a long road, requiring
Again, if you had to say this to Dr. Umar, that's why, Dr. Umar, that's why some black men are leaving. That's why some black men are not getting with black women, because they do stuff like this.
decades of time and trillions.
To the point none of these westernized females should be taken seriously. Their behavior even shut down David's bridal store. No one is getting married anymore.
Appreciate that. Yeah, because men are the only ones buying gifts out of those stores. And once the men stop getting engaged, those stores start losing money. This is why they try to tell men to stop being red-pilled. Don't go your own way. That's why, because they lose money. We need to continue to make these type of places lose money because these women do not appreciate it.
When a person is truly a good person, it's hard to explain. So I found myself trying to explain it to family and friends, and they were asking me a whole bunch of questions that, I could not say, exactly why, other than the fact that I just did not feel the connection.
Shout out to Vern85 with the Cash App. You should have noticed that before you got engaged.
Yes.
You mean to tell me that you dated this guy and you didn't notice that there was something off?
Oh my God.
Ain't that what the dating phase is all about? This is what I tell y'all, man. She saw a man that she was attracted to. And she fell into a relationship, and then she realized, oh, he's serious about marriage. But she's not. She wants to be in these streets. That's what happened. You see, you went with the physical attraction instead of actually getting to know him. When women tell you dudes that they want to get to know you at first, they're only saying it because they're not attracted to you. Like, she was attracted to him, so all that getting to know bullshit went out the window, and she jumped 2 feet into this relationship. What's good, Bronx Side? Make sure y'all like the stream, huh?
There was something that was not there that I needed to be there in order for this to be my husband. And so I stopped trying to explain it, and I just trusted my decision, and I went on. But then I got an epiphany, and it was just like, have you ever been shoe shopping and you saw a nice pair of shoes, and it's like, ooh, I love the color, I love the style, the heel is the right size, and it's a reasonable price, like it's on sale and it's a good shoe. But then when you approach the shoe, you see that it's a size 6 and you need a size 7. Does it take away from the fact that the shoe is a good shoe?
That literally makes no sense. Why would you go into a store if there's a shoe you wanted and you get a shoe that's a size different than what you actually look? That makes no sense. That analogy is dumb. If the thing is this: when it comes to dating, you have attraction, then you got to work towards is there chemistry. So you mean to tell me that you were dating a guy and got engaged to him when you didn't feel like there was any chemistry? That's because you were looking at somebody for the physical and not really getting to know that guy. These women do not care about getting to know you if they are attracted to you. That's what it is. And the mistake that this gentleman made was that he revealed how much he was into her, and she realized, like, damn, like, I thought, he was one of these guys that just runs through women. She thought that she was just going to be in a little short-term relationship, right? She didn't think that he would want marriage. Now, once the marriage thing happens, then the realization comes into play that, he actually is into her. He actually wants to be in a relationship with her, not just have her in a short-term, physical relationship. Right, just ask them if you have the size. It's good, Gerald. Just make sure you ask them that you have the right size. Like, that analogy doesn't make any sense.
Does it take away from the fact that you're getting a great deal for the quality? Does it take away from the fact that the heel is still the right size? It doesn't matter. All of that still makes the shoe is still good. But if it's not your size, it's not the shoe for you. And so that is what I had to accept. Yes, he was a good man. But what that feeling was is that he was not a great fit for me.
Well, again, this is why you go on dates, okay? This is why you're around people. You have conversations with them. You get to know what they want long term. You did not do that. You only thought about that once you got engaged. It's obvious that you didn't get to know this guy. You just saw somebody that you were physically attracted to, and you hopped into the sack with him.
Yep.
You should have knew all this in the early stages of dating. That's why I tell you, when a woman is like they want to get to know you, it's BS.
The moral of her story is, he sleeps on the floor. Can't. Fall out of bed rolling on the floor.
Yeah, right.
Rolling on the floor laughing.
Like, if I'm sleeping on I made a pallet on the floor. There's no way I can fall out of the bed. Why didn't I sleep in the bed? You see, there's a reason why I didn't sleep in the bed, because I had slept on the floor, so I wouldn't fall out of the bed.
It didn't take away from who he was, but it was just confirmation that he was not a good fit for me. And that leads me to say that some of us are trying to force relationships when we know they don't fit.
So what I would ask her is, what fits for you? Okay? What is a good fit for you? What is a situation that fits good for you? Because if this guy is everything you want, you're not going to meet that again. I don't care what you say.
Right.
You're not going to meet that again.
Exactly.
The only type of men you're going to meet after that are very, very flawed men. And those men's flaws are going to be right in front of your face when you first meet them. You can either accept them or not. But women like you will accept them because that's what you want. You want an extremely flawed man that you have to fix. You see, he didn't need to be fixed. That's the thing. She wanted to fix him, but he did not need to be fixed. A lot of you heifers want to fix men, which is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. I'm not fixing no woman. I don't care how attractive she is. But y'all waste your time and the best years of your life trying to fix men. I don't understand it.
Exactly.
And that was the problem. He didn't need to be fixed. He didn't need to be rescued.
Exactly.
That's what you were looking for. You're used to that.
Exactly.
This is why men, if you're going to be dating these heifers, you need to start. This is why men, if you're going to be dating these heifers, you need to start asking questions, and you need to start figuring out these type of women, because you're going to end up wasting your time wifing up women who are damaged, who are broken. But they pretend. You see, women like this can put on they can pretend and fake it.
Yeah.
Too many of these heifers are faking it. She tried to fake it with this guy, and she realized she couldn't fake it anymore.
Exactly.
Straight up chameleons.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that the person is not good. It doesn't mean that they are not good-hearted people. It just means that
she trying to find the words. She's searching for the words because she know it's BS, man.
Exactly.
Just say you don't like nice guys, right?
Exactly.
You realize he was a nice guy. He was a gentleman.
Yeah.
You know, he loved God. You probably somewhat love God. You know? I always found it weird when women talk about how much a man loves God. Ain't that what y'all claim y'all want?
Exactly.
You're not going to meet a man like this again. I don't care what you say. You can go out there and say, see, I met this person. I bet they're the opposite of the type of man that you have.
Exactly.
That they're not a good fit for you. So free them up. Don't continue to settle for things that you know is going to cause discomfort in the future. Me purchasing a size 6 shoe when I wear a 7 is discomfort.
No, you chose to purchase that 6.
Right.
You could have went somewhere else and got you that same shoe elsewhere. There's plenty of options. So you're a woman who don't look for options.
Right.
You look for opportunity.
Exactly.
You shop in the same store.
Exactly.
You wouldn't have to wear a 6 if you wear a 7 if you shop at other stores. But you don't shop at other stores, do you? You shop at the same store looking for the same results in the same section until you find what you're looking for in it. Your own analogy just destroyed you.
Don't do it.
Well, I'm glad that man got free, and I hope he goes to some, South American or Asian country and finds a better woman than you. These Western women are some of the most broken human beings out here, but you got these simps and these heifers who are going to tell you that you need to be dating women like this.
Right.
I think not. I think not.
What's good, everybody?
But you think that's something?
Saw this video circulating of this young lady.
This is a 46-year-old
talking about
woman.
middle-aged women, and we mad, mean, miserable, and lonely, right? And that we missed our opportunity to have a good man, and that's why we out here, we just lonely. First of all, let me just clear something up, right? Majority of us middle-aged women, because I consider myself a middle-aged woman, I'm 46 years old. A lot of us are single by choice. Not because we missed our opportunity, but just for the simple fact that the caliber of men that's out here now, to me, in my opinion, are not even worth dating or having a relationship with. And the fact that a lot of you young girls, because a lot of y'all are 20 years younger than me, but you look like you're my age. And that's because you living hard. You know, you doing the age that you are now versus the age we were back then. You all are doing way more for way less with these men. Y'all are out here wouldn't have men if you wasn't spending money. It's just like y'all getting pimped and played.
That opening clip was something else. And for many of you guys from the 90s, you know that.
You see what type of women we got to deal with in America?
Of money, but the absence of opportunity.
That opening clip was something else. And for many of you guys from the 90s, you know that particular individual all too well. You don't even need to know her name. You just know that personality. It doesn't matter if you lived in Los Angeles, if you lived in Brooklyn, New York, or if you lived in Detroit. We all know her.
Yes.
And most of us as guys, we run now. Now let me just say this. She's 46, and she's not an unattractive lady.
No.
But again, there's something about her attitude that leaves a lot to be desired. She is in her, 46 year of living, pretty much responding to the fact that, that you older chicks are washed up. So she's coming out here talking about the fact that, you know what, these men, and let's make it clear, these black men, because that's who she's talking to, because she's very, she has that urban feel. These guys are not worth anything or dating out here in this particular time zone, right? That's what she's trying to say, and that's why she doesn't even waste her time. I'm dating because it's not worth it. Let me just say this about that. We're gonna go over some of the other videos. Yeah, it's true. A lot of people could feel like that about the dating market, but when you're a successful person and you're doing very well and you're a great person, one of the things that I have found out, you get opportunities. You don't talk like this. Now, you can explain that these things are happening, but I'm now 42. Life has gotten a lot better for me, so I can't really accept what she's saying at this level. At the average level, yes. But when you're doing well and you're somebody special, this typically is not your reality. I was talking to Solo TV 84 about a year ago about this. Shout out to my brother, and we were talking about this. He's like, look, man, it's better as I'm doing. I don't have the same problems with ladies that I used to. And the same thing with ladies who are beautiful and feminine. They don't typically have the problems that this lady has. But when you're average and you think you're a boss chick, you're going to have these talking points because you're just nowhere in life to where you can demand somebody. Who's going to take somebody like this serious, or who talks and looks like this serious? That's pretty much what it is. But wait, there's more. I want you to hear this next clip, and guys, yeah, this is pretty much laughable, but let's check it out.
A question, right? So all the bad out there, all the bad that's single, that they not fresh out of a relationship, they've been single forever. It's just, they just a bad single. I just got a question for y'all. If you so bad, why you can't keep it? I'm just, explain it to me, because I want to know. You know what I'm saying? I want to know why you so bad, but don't none of these niggas stay around. They lay you down, they spray you down, but they don't stay around. They ejaculate and then they evacuate. I'm just trying to figure it out. Bad.
Clip of I can't remember his name. Wallow cousin, Tootie husband. I know who he is. You know what I mean? But I just can't remember his name off top. But he wants to know why are you bad single, still single? And it's not like you fresh out, you've been single for years. I'm gonna just tell you like this. I've been single for like 5-6 years. I've dated or whatever, but sometimes you gotta give a person a dose of their own reality. So let me ask him this. The caliber of men that's out here now, well, he got a beautiful daughter, smart and everything. Would you want your daughter to deal with these men that's out here now? Would you want her to be bothered with the caliber of men that's out here now? Answer me that. Because, and I don't reference myself to being a bad or a boss, because what's understood needs no explanation. I don't need a title. And I bet you if he answered that question would be no. Because he knows he's in my age group, we in our 40s or whatever. Anybody in their 40s knows that there's a different caliber of men that's out here now. Period. And I guarantee you he would not want his baby out here dating none of these switch-hitting, drug-addict, alcoholic ass men that's out here now. And they lazy. They have no real hustle or heart. I have a 27-year-old daughter, and I really feel sorry for the women in her age group because it's totally different. And she's not used to seeing that type of man. She's used to a man making it happen for us. So that's just some shit that she just not gonna accept, and she just not used to. So anytime a man wanna ask you why you single, ask him would he want his daughter to date these men.
So here's another talking point that she's gonna use here. At least men back in the day cheated and provided. Y'all cheat and cheat. Again, this is Ask Tiffany T. That is her name, right? So if you ever want to go and check this out on TikTok, be my guest. Number one, you're talking about men in this generation. This is the same argument that Steve Harvey tries to make with the, women don't need to bring to the table argument. In this generation, you guys are cheat and cheat. You're nothing like the men in the previous generation. However, what she fails to realize is that women like her would not be indicative or equal to the women of the old generation. That is why some of these guys in this new generation are not showing the same level of respect.
Introducing Astapro, steroid-free allergy relief that starts
same level of respect as men did in the old generation. So they're trying to separate that you men have changed, but women have remained the same. And we know that is not true because I've been in the older generation and saw how my grandmother's was. I lived in my own generation, and then I've seen this new generation, and there's a big difference between women and men of today.
Yeah. So
she wants to get away from that. But now she's talking about y'all cheat and cheat. Well, how would you know that? Is that because you're going through that right now? You're experiencing cheat men? Well, maybe you're experiencing those cheat men because you just can't do any better. It would be almost like me complaining about living in the hood or living in the ghetto. All y'all do is shoot dice all day and drink 40s. I don't even know what that feels like anymore. And it's not that I look down on anybody, I just don't live that life. So I don't talk about that because I've worked so hard for myself that I don't have to experience that. It's like almost talking about single moms. I don't want to date these single moms. I don't even know what that's like for the most part. What? That's something I don't experience. These chicks here, they're BBWs, and some guys complain about that. That's not something I encounter because that's something I don't deal with, or bad attitudes. I see it sometimes, but I don't really deal with that. Same thing that, aggressive ladies. I don't even know what that's like anymore. I can understand being there before, but I don't deal with that. So why are you still dealing with that? Okay? Now, I got more proof because this next clip we're going to see, Wallow from the $1 Million Worth of Game, he's going to ask a question and she's going to respond to it about why these ladies who are bad bees are single. Let's play that clip.
So I posted this meme on Instagram and a lot of hit dogs was hollering. Check it out. So it says, at least men back in the day cheated and provided. Y'all just cheat and cheat. And that's real talk. Like a lot of men nowadays, like in this era, this generation, y'all feel entitled to have multiple women, but you don't feel entitled to take care of those women. You can't even take care of yourself. You need help, but you out here messing around. You out here cheating and you can't provide. The difference between men in this era and this generation and our grandparents' era, men back in the day could have a whole family on the other side of town. You wouldn't find out until that man's death, to his funeral, because he took care of both households. You men cheat, and you so cheat in the shit that you do, and you feel like, oh, well, I don't feel appreciated. You can't even take care of home. How can you appreciate somebody that can't take care of their responsibilities, but feel entitled to put a woman in some Barbara and Shirley shit? You know, and a lot of these women are out here fighting over these bum-ass men. You men sit up there and think that because you could post a fine-ass picture, you think you fine, or you posting that car that your woman co-signed for, that, yeah, you getting all this attention, you getting all these likes and these DMs, half that shit you don't even own. If it wasn't for the woman in your life, you wouldn't be having a lot of the shit that you have, but you got the nerve to not be faithful to that lady. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the shit is all crazy. With social media has given a platform to a lot of these men that wouldn't have it in real life. Because you hold bombs. Y'all put out this fake facade that y'all got it going on whole time. Your debt to income is high. Your mother woman in cosign, you living in her crib. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't really got no place of your own, but you got the nerve to have multiple women. And a lot of y'all penises ain't even large enough to be swinging it and slinging it out here in the streets. You're chicken nuggets. You know what I mean? Like, the worst thing in the world to get played is to get played by a man, number one, that's broke. Number two, they got a chicken nugget. And if you don't understand what a chicken nugget is, fellas, if you lay back and your man parts don't reach your navel, sir, you are a chicken nugget and you need to be humble. You need to appreciate the woman that you do have, and you need to be able to provide instead of going out here trying to sling that chicken nugget everywhere.
Now she's talking about, would you want your daughter to date these men in this generation? And I don't have to talk about that I'm a bad bee because I'm a bad bee, and she's referring to herself as that. Again, you're differentiating yourself as if you're better than somebody else, which in any generation, people who are quality people never have to complain about people who are worse than them because it's not their experience.
Right.
The people who complain about that are people who are stuck in that sort of situation.
And talk like this.
Again, that's who deals with that. Like, for example, if you're a person, dealing with, let's say, robberies in the black community or any kind of thing like that, or you living by somebody that makes a lot of noise, I mean, like, you would complain about that because you see that every day. But at age 46, your life should be such that you're not dealing with that. If you're a person that's in your 20s or 30s, I can see that, maybe. But at your mid-40s going towards 50, why are you complaining about something like that? At that level, you should be doing much better. But guys,
now you see what type of caliber of women we have in America who talk like her, and they have to use insults to kind of throw things at me. You broke, your organ size, but I never hear men talking down on women about their breast size. Oh, you can't orgasm or something like that because something's wrong with between your legs. But it's always seemed like it always comes back to that immature morality thing. And I see why some passport bros are leaving. And then the way she is, she's foul, at 46 years old, I see women overseas expressing certain things. They're more classy about it. Even the older women over there are classy. But we don't have no classy speaking women that come to the line. They're not classy. And this is what all the men are saying. That's why some men who are able to leave are leaving. And some wish we can leave. And are there some men that are not up to par? Yeah. But that's all they want to do is get with somebody, then later on throw it up in their face and complain about it when something go wrong or when they in an argument with them. That's what they do. That's their weapon to kind of tear down the man. That's what they do in this country. If a man don't stand, whatever. And then it's some stuff, like I make another video, they would get knocked in the mouth in other nations. If they was in South America, talk to a man like that, or in some other nation. The women don't do that in other places. From what I hear from men that been there and the men are from over there, they don't do that online. They don't talk about their men online, about men like that online. That's why, and that's why some foreign men or other men see why these some pretty black women or these some pretty women here. Why are they single? Now you see the personality, what we got to deal with. See, after the facade, the looks and everything, you hear what come out this. Then you see what kind of personality you got to deal with. That's why we're leaving. That's why some men got discouraged. Just like, man, screw this, man. But that's their version of it. And that's why some men are married outside their race. In some cases. Because it's not about the race of the woman. In some cases with some black men, they're trying to find a black woman that got some moral and some yeah, she's beautiful, but yeah, but do she appreciate what she have? It's nothing worse than having a woman that don't appreciate nothing that you have. Like that one woman, I gotta have a bus driver. It's like, okay, you have met white men. Why haven't you settled down with a white man who had good means? You know why? Because their personality. It's their personality. And I'm pretty sure white men she dated out. So you mean you could meet one white man? If you like, you meet black men. So who is at fault? In the case with Ebony, it's Ebony. And that's why Ebony's going to remain single. And I see a lot of these attractive looking women like Ebony here in the States. That's the reason why. You're like, wow, man, you think 100 guys? I said, that's the reason why. That's the reason why, guys. When you see some attractive woman like that, she got some personality issue. And that's why them guys will stay in the picture too long. And that's why some guys, they say, they play the part, trick the game, get the sex, and they're gone. Because they don't want to deal with that personality. That's the truth. See, especially have a long-term relationship with somebody, which obviously they don't. She sound like that last one wants to continue to be a player. She's trying to be a female player at 46 years old. Yeah, do what some men do. See, now they want to flip, and you have women like her that want to give advice to younger how to get the game. Not get married and have a decent relationship. Just have the game. Because why is she? Because she don't want it, right? Like she said, she chooses to be single. And go through a bunch of bodies. And have all and personalities. Now you see why. In America, now you see why we're seeing most of us are single as men. Speaking on the man have, because we got women like this that don't appreciate nothing. And I said that's why passport bros are going overseas, because some of these women have some psychological problems. And then when they do, they have children, like the one young woman, got 8 children, and looking for a date. What happened to the kids' fathers? Why you can't keep a relationship? Why did you use contraceptive? Or why did he use contraceptive? And now you got 6 kids. And talk about what man gonna sign for that? That shows me you don't even have, you're not mature enough to see what's a stable man, so your children can see a role model. So you got see now they won't take accountability for that, because it affects a child's life, especially when you're looking at a father figure, an older male, especially for boys and for girls as protection. But you got these silly women don't see that. And what they see you do, that's what you laid the example. Yeah, it's the man there is to provide, but it's the women also need to take up responsibility and be responsible of what kind of men they bring in their children's life, who are single mothers, especially when they have children that age, under that age. That's why. That's the reason why you see a lot of single black women, Dr. Umar. Because some of these women ain't wrapped too tight. That's the truth. And they get with careless men that all they can do is meet at a hotel, do one thing in the bedroom, don't wear no condoms. 6 to 8 months later, a life is 12 months later, she pregnant, boom, a baby's there. And he don't have them. And some of the men that they pick that have not a steady job, doing some scandalous stuff that's in the street, got women all across town, probably got 2 or 3 baby mamas knocked up all over the place, and then they somehow they don't research and check this out, and if they do, they don't care. They just add on their baby, because he said, man, when they were laying down, I love you, I'll take care for the rest of your life. I got you my boo, and they believe all that. And then you see this man that got 10 other kids across town, and then they want to put us in the same category, taking out on all black men for their bad decision, because they lay down with that man and they will not take accountability. That's the truth. That's why, as a son was, and they got a nerve that just because they lose the body weight, build their body up, that make it desirable for men, and think that I got a body, I got pretty, and then you get a couple men, get some little bit of attention. Oh, I can make money off this attention. Let me make some money off. See, I get some out of these fools. Let me find a sucker. Meanwhile, I can go continue to lay down with the other men that I really desire, that run the street, that smoke weed, I don't know, argue with me. We get into a physical fight, had the police call out to the resident 2 or 3 times, drama, cousins fighting, friends fighting, everything. Some hood, excuse me, I'm about to say this, hood nigga shit. That's what some black women like. Not no good, decent black man. No, that's too lame. That's too square. Excuse me that expression, but that's what they like, because that's what they put in their everyday talk with some of them. They complain about the men they despise, but they attract with the men, the opposite of what they do. And then when the good man comes along, they don't know how to handle it. He's nice, or they talk like that one woman do. Oh, he's nice, but we just wasn't the click. That's the truth. That's the reason why there are women single in America, and particularly, and this can apply to white women and other women too, but it comes from mostly from our women. That's the truth, and they don't want to admit it. They want to direct the blame. Then if you call them out on they got hit, then if you don't, if you're lagging in some area as an older man, you lag in this area, they try to hit you at points, hit you in your manhood, hit you in your pocketbook, hit you what's on your body, what's in your body, what's on your body. They try to pull you down to their level. And you see how that woman talk. That's the reason why. At 46 years old. Sad, ain't it? Sad that it's nothing like an old fool. That's what I always say. That's a fool. Because a real smart woman will want to settle down and give some good godly advice. But you see, this is like old men is old foolish women. They're just foolish. And at 46 years old, that's what you advise the young women? Not to be don't take no crap, but how to be a woman. Where are the women and how to teach them how to have self-pride, how to be a wife, so you can have a steady relationship, so you won't have to keep the generational curse and try to work things out. Try to find you a man that loves you and you learn how to love him. Where are the women? Where are the black women that teach that? Where are the women in general that teach that? The 46 to 42 to 46 year old. How to love yourself, but know to learn yourself and do it on that premise. Now learn from a godly premise. How to love your man. Love the right man when the right man is given to you. Not complain and know how to pick the right man. Where are the women like that? Where are the women online about that? Where are the real women on how to survive? Tell this to younger women. You don't hear that, do you? And it's all you hear is a bunch of classless women talking about the same old thing. And it's sad you have women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, pushing 70, talking crazy like this, and wonder why some of us men about to exit this country. Well, we gotta stay together as black men. That's responsibility. You can deal with the children, but don't deal with that. You don't have to deal with the nonsense. Take care of your children, of course, but you don't have to put up with the nonsense of some woman putting you down, put you down because something happened to you medically, because you can't perform in the bedroom. Put you down because of that. Because your status or your income. Put you down because of that. That's why they're losing, because they ain't mature enough. They ain't spiritually mature. And it's a shame that you go through your whole life being a fool, talking foolishness like this as a woman. Just like if I be stopped to talk about, I'm at my age talking foolishness to a younger man. Yeah, man, that's how you, that's how you do it, dog. That's how you mac a lot of women, man. And I ain't got a lick of sense. And it's sad that if a man doing it, it's sad. So you're gonna die being a fool. You're gonna die not learning from your mistakes and giving advice to the world. So young men learn from your mistakes. Don't do this because there's a circumstance is coming with it. It's like some older women should be advising younger women. Don't do this because learn from my mistakes. But don't hate the man. Just make the correct decision. But when you make sure you find a man that can love you and support you, that's what it should be about. And recognize the good man. Don't deal with no man that don't love you. That just talk about you want to hit it and quit it and that's it. Where's the women in that? Where are the women? Where are the real women? Because what I see online, it's pathetic. All they want to do is complain and pull down men. Pull down black men. Then you wonder why black men hearing that and say, okay, if I'm not needed and I ain't worth the crap, then I'll go somewhere else. They just give up. Why? And then it's gonna make it hard for some black women. Like, damn, what's going on? Why these men don't? Because these Me Too black feminists go and have this lesbian mindset, speaking ill will on their own men. So that gives opportunity for other women to come in. I'll be that woman that she can't be. So keep talking crazy to us. Whether he's a working class man making 30,000 to a man that's making 100,000, you're gonna lose either way. And you'll find in this country gonna develop more and more single, lonely women. And it might be if you break it down by narrative, it's gonna be white and black women gonna be leading out the highest of single women. They're gonna be right neck and neck with that mindset. You watch if it ain't happening right now, because their mindset. Maybe Asian women might be the second, third one. Some Asian women here. Keep following, keep listening to that. I'm trying to tell you, men are getting tired, fed up, and you ain't gonna guilt them, you ain't gonna shame them. At one point, it's gonna like, why is it? You have to turn to yourself and say, what is it about? Is and the God that made you and pushing your other woman say, go look in the mirror. You, with the words that you spoke, the words that you put across them social media, said that you haven't learned nothing. That it's not one worse thing that one day to come to a point in your life when you're 60, 70 years old, looking back and saying, "Damn, you could have really been happy than what you are," but your own words spoke it. That's why you're lonely. Nobody don't want to be alone. That's our, nobody, no person wants to be alone. But sometimes people's actions cause them to be alone. Words cause them to be alone. I mean, I've said some foolish things, but I've learned over time. Some things are out of pocket, but I learned, hey man, changed my mind and said I was wrong for that. God had me reflect how stupid that it was, and that maybe at some point He would have it do that to them, and then repent, and maybe and have a repent of your mind. Then you'll get the right person. But if you talk like that foolish woman, if you're a woman, you ain't gonna get the man that you want, and then you're gonna die being a whore and an adulteress and a player. And it's gonna catch up to your body. I don't care how much surgeries and whatever you have. You can look beautiful on the outside, but be looking rotten on the inside. You can be the most handsomest man on the outside, but you look rotten on the inside. Because one thing I learned, the Spirit of God, when anybody, men and women they give that vision to see what they're really all about, and what's coming out their mouth. And that's a spirit. It's foulness. That's what some of the women are. And that's why they're not going to get the best of the men who's making six figure. They're going to get some foul, vile men, just like they sell. Why? Because they spoke it. That's why I say, watch your words, what you put on men. It's like the same with men. You gotta watch what words they put on women. If you're a foul man, you're going to get foul women. If you're a foul woman, you're going to get a foul man. Mindset. Think about it. Well, my name is James. I hope you enjoy this video. And hey, take this to the device. And young women, don't be listening to some of these older women, or you're going to be just like them. You're 20 or 25, you're going to be 40, 50, 60 years old, be alone and miserable. Get with some godly women with some godly sense. Till next time, take care.